with Chef Amy. It is week 6, and we are, as always, devouring the food of our enemy. This week, the enemy of the Philadelphia Eagles is the Baltimore Ravens. I'm nervous going into this week. Especially given the Pittsburgh platter that the Eagles served us last week.
That's right.
If you don't know what that is, Urban Dictionary, I'm not going to tell you.
Hide your kids before you look it up.
Yeah, no, it's not. This week, Baltimore. Let's talk about the food that we're going to devour. We're going to make something called pit beef. Actually, as you can see, I've already made it. The process was kind of time-consuming, and the steps happened in increments that didn't really lend itself to this, showing me cooking and things like that. So I'm just going to describe this to you guys, and then I'm going to post the recipe in the comments on YouTube, so you can try it. Let me know how you did. I'm excited. Pit beef is something that Pat and I have had several times. We go every year to a rock festival in Columbia, Maryland, and it's called the M3 Festival. And every time we go there, we stop at a place called Chap's Pit Beef. Ugh. It's amazing. It's so good, and I was so excited. I can't believe I had to actually look up Baltimore food this week, and one of the things that came up was pit beef. I was like, oh yeah, duh. So pit beef is happening. We are making it Philadelphia-fied by serving it up on some Amoroso Kaiser rolls made with Schuylkill Punch.
Yes.
Yes. Schuylkill Punch. And we're just really excited. So I guess we can just get rolling.
You want to talk about how you made that first?
I do want to talk about how I made this first. So, Chef Amy, how did you make pit beef? Let me tell you. This is a bottom round, also known as a rump roast. It's grosser than gross.
When you open the refrigerator door and the rump roast farts in your face.
Yes, that is grosser than gross.
Now we're hungry.
So this is a 2-pound bottom round roast, and I did what's called a reverse sear on this. So normally when we're cooking a roast, we're going to sear the outside on all the edges first, and then you put it in the oven or your smoker or your grill, however you're going to finish cooking it through, and then you're going to bring it up to your desired temperature. What I did in this case was I actually smoked it first. So I put a rub on the outside of the roast, and I did that, and I let it sit overnight. This is why I didn't show the whole process, because it just would have been too much.
Plus, it was raining outside.
It was raining. So it just. All right. So rub, and then overnight in the fridge. And then you take it out of the fridge, you let it rest for about 30 minutes before you actually put it in the smoker. You let it get to, like a room temperature. I smoked it for about an hour and a half. And unfortunately, I think that might have been a little too long, because this roast is pretty small. And when I temperature checked it, it was about 130, 140 degrees, which is a little more than I prefer my beef doneness.
Did you use a certain kind of wood chips for this?
I did.
roast?
I used cherry wood,
Okay.
Because that's what I have.
All right.
But you can use anything, you can really use anything that you have. I have an electric smoker. It's awesome. My husband got it for me. I say that a lot on this show, don't I? Oh my God. And then when I took it out of the smoker, once it was really past the temperature I wanted it to be, then I put it on the grill. Now I heated my grill to about 450 degrees, and I put it on the hottest spot. And I seared it on this side, the end here, and on both of these sides, and then on the bottom. So now we're going to slice it, and we're going to put it on some rolls, and we're going to finish it off, and then we're going to eat it.
Yes.
So, how do we cut a roast, Chef Amy? We want to cut across the grains. We want to go across the grains. So the grain on this roast is going to go this way, so we're going to cut our roast this way, and we want nice thin slices. How do we get nice thin slices? We use a nice sharp knife.
What kind of knife you got there, Chef Amy?
Oh, well, this is a shove knife. My husband got it from me. I'm that girl who's always bragging about her husband. So we're going to slice this down. And while we slice this, we're going to start talking about our starts. Who are we starting this week, Pat? At quarterback, we are going to start Kyler Murray. Arizona's playing Dallas this week. It is going to be a shootout, my friends. It is going to be a shootout. Neither defense can stop a thing. I like watching Dallas play. It really broke my heart what happened to Dak last week. That was very sad. Very sad. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. Love you, mean it. And I think my guy Amari Cooper is going to get the ball up this week, so he can make it up for me to what he did to me last week with his meager 5 points or less. I don't even know what that was. Dash.
Weak.
Amari, what'd you do? Anyways, at running back, we are starting David Montgomery. Why are we starting David Montgomery? Because Chicago is playing Carolina. Carolina has allowed the most points to running backs all season long.
Look out.
Don't snap your butt like that. Don't do that. It's not appropriate. At wide receiver. All right, I hope you guys are all sitting down. I really hope you're sitting down for this because at wide receiver, we want to start Jamison Crowder.
On the Jets?
On the Jets. What? Let's talk about the Jets for a minute. The Jets playing the Dolphins. So, the Dolphins, they're not great. And Jamison Crowder, he's a good wide receiver. He's had at least 7 catches and 100 yards every game this season. The Jets are without Le'Veon Bell.
Yes.
Starting this week. So we're gonna sit him too, I guess, right? Because he can't play anyway. so there's that. So I'm just making like really nice thin slices here. I hope you see how thin. I mean, if you have a deli slicer, cool. I mean, I don't. Maybe my husband will get me one for Christmas.
Hint taken.
Thank you. So we got some nice thin slices of beef. And you know what? I'm okay with this color inside now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it looks good.
I was a little nervous. I thought that it was going to be like really brown when I cut through it because of the temperature when I took it out of the smoker, but I'm actually pretty happy with what I'm seeing right now. All right, so we've got our beef sliced nice and thin. There's still some left here. I'll get to that later. Pat and I will probably gnaw on that midnight snack.
Let's talk about them buns.
What about them buns? So, as you may all know, I toast my buns. I'm not gonna go through it again because I think I showed you guys that process quite a bit. Cast iron pan, butter, buns in the butter, fry them up. They get nice and crispy and
Amoroso
toasty.
rolls, you said?
Amoroso rolls.
Oh, the best.
Yes, the best. They're Philly. That's how we're Philifying the sandwiches. So, the traditional pit beef kind of plate up is just the beef and some sliced raw onion on your roll. Bada boom, bada bing. You got it. Now, Chap's Pit Beef, the place that we usually go to. It's just outside of the Baltimore city limits. You know it's legit because it shares a parking lot with a strip joint. So, get your chaps, see some flaps, vice versa, what have you, whatever works. But I feel like it's.
Wow.
Do that right there. Yep. All right. So while I put these sandwiches together, we're going to talk about our sits at quarterback, and I do despise the fact that I'm about to say this. Carson Wentz, I love you. I love you, my friend, but we're going to sit you this week. The Baltimore Ravens are on fire, and I don't have a good feeling about this week.
Not to mention the fact the guy's got 9 interceptions this
He's
year.
got 9 interceptions. That's not great. I don't, but you know what? It can only get better, right?
Well, we have low expectations going in, so.
Yeah. So you know what? Amaze us, delight us, Carson Wentz, please. So at wide receiver, we're going to sit DJ Moore on Carolina. He's only had 1 good game with over 5 catches. So just don't. And then at tight end, Eric Ebron. Pittsburgh is playing the Browns, who, believe it or not, have only allowed 1 tight end to have a touchdown this year.
Yeah, they've only had 1 tight end allow a touchdown, and only 1 tight end has had more than
10 points.
10 points this year.
Thank you, Pat.
You got it.
Thanks, man.
We love football.
We do love football. We talk. You know what, you guys? Seriously, we talk football all week. We talk trash to each other about our teams. Like we just kind of have a pretty fun dynamic here. And then our son is he's got his own fantasy league going. So all three of us pretty much we're just like some trash talking fantasy football people here. So it's a good time. It's a good time in the DeSanta house. All right, Pat, come on, let's do this.
All right.
We both have our Eagles greenish plates. This one's more Eagles green than that one, but they're green.
All right.
All right, stick it.
Same time?
Yeah, same time.
Same time.
You thought you wouldn't like the raw onion.
Mm-hmm. You've done it again, my dear.
Yeah.
Mm. So first of all, the beef is cooked perfectly. It's tender. It's tender and juicy. And I usually don't like raw onions. But on this, somehow it works.
It works.
Unbelievable.
All right, cool. All right, well, join us next week. The Eagles are playing the Giants, and it's time to work some pork roll into this whole.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
All right.
It's not Taylor ham. It's pork roll, and I will tell you why next week.